I work outdoors. I don't know why. I think it's more challenging. I mean, in the west of Ireland, the weather is so wild and so inhospitable that to go out to work is a physical challenge beyond belief. But that makes you totally forget to kind of fret about details. You know, all you can really, you can sort of, it's just directly the weather, what you see, how you interpret it, right onto your canvas or paper. There's no time to think, oh, does this look good, or maybe I should have more, pink in the left corner, whatever. Just nothing. You're glad to get it down because the paper's been ripped out of your hand. And what struck me, because I live by the seaside in the west of Ireland at the Atlantic coast, how very, very different it is here. I mean, I've seen Mediterranean seas. I grew up in Finland, so I did see all sorts of seas. The Baltic Sea. It just seemed very different here, and I think it was the shingles which made it so different, and that gives a different light as well. There's a different kind of quality of light, maybe through this expanse of shingles here. So what I really wanted to do was just sort of sea studies. Nothing fancy, straightforward. I think I'm a kind of straightforward kind of person. I don't sort of harbour huge kind of concepts and complicated kind of premises. And when I came first here, I thought, oh my God, there's no contrast. It's very soft, it's very gentle. The softness far more differentiated, maybe in these sort of tiny shades of greys. I came to think about it that I was very much focused on East growing up. I mean, I grew up in Finland, and I was more influenced by Russian culture. Part of my childhood was spent in the Middle East, so that was East as well. And everything West, like America and all that, didn't interest me particularly. And then I moved to the west coast of Ireland, and all I do is look towards America. I mean, we are basically their western point. There's different forms of residencies, and different things support you in your residency. Obviously, the environment of, if you're doing landscapes, what landscape you're in. But there's more to it. I mean, you could just book a holiday and go on your own up somewhere and paint away to your heart's delight, but a residency is about more, and it is about the support system. And I think that Caroline and Francis offer an amazing support system, and it's just the way they hold the place. It's the way the place is held, and the ethos of the place, and yes, the background of education, education in arts. So I started doing those drawings down from the top of the tower. What would it be like if there was no room? If I was just standing on top of the tower with no walls, and what would I see outside? Because of the subject of being sea, downstairs is for the Arbor Sea drawings and paintings, and upstairs I wanted to kind of, it was an experiment for me to see. I study and practice Buddhism. One of the traditional ways of describing it is, it's like sitting on the top of the mountain, on the top of the world, in a house with no windows and doors, and suddenly all four walls fall away, and that feeling of suddenly seeing, of being able to see indiscriminately, everything at the same time, without focusing on one, without narrowing your concept or your perception onto one, but everything there, everything equally there.
Sophie. thank our wonderful artist Regina
Yes.
for creating this extraordinary work, which we're still marvelling over. And thank you very much, Regina. And we also want to thank Jason for providing this most wonderful animal. And we want to thank Daphne for making it all happen.
I have to say there's not a single person in this room I don't owe some thanks to. In the past 2 times I came here in spring to now, and people helped me organise this, and most of all, of course, Francis and Caroline. And like we said before, it wouldn't happen without Daphne. Daphne was my connection to you.
Absolutely.
So I'm going to first say that how much I appreciate this residency, because it was tremendously inspiring, and I've said this to loads of people before all the time, because it's so nurturing. It's not pressure. It doesn't feel like pressure, oh my goodness, I must perform something incredible, but it's sort of a relaxing into your best self, or trusting that. It mightn't be my best self, what do I know, but it felt like I had a space to be my best self. Yes. You set a very high standard because of the people who precede us and who will follow us, and because of your tremendous knowledge of the art world and artists. So it gives them a context in where you stand and from where you work, and it's a great honour, of course, to be chosen to be one of your artists. So thank you very much.
Hear, hear.
My motivation has always been, even when I was very young, it was always based in Buddhist philosophy. It sounds boring, but I don't want it to sound sort of holy or spiritual, but it's a whole life path, how you view life, and it's very similar to all spiritual traditions. It's nothing that it's not different or anyway special. It's just a way of looking at life through a spiritual lenses, yeah. Instead of rose-tinted glasses, you you aspire towards looking at it through a spiritual sort of aspect. And in that sense, I have a lot of subjects in my work, and it doesn't really matter. I don't have to focus on a subject, because the subject itself is trying to see purely, like all artists try, and practice that not just in my art, but in my everyday life, and not just in my everyday life, but in my art as well. And the motivation is always to be of some use, to be useful in this life and make something out of this life, and to contribute and hopefully share something positive and joyful. So I came here, and it was tremendously joyful because I had nothing else to do. Caroline cooked like a 5-star restaurant, a heated, lovely room. Francis was at my beck and call, as he said, and all I needed to do is sit outside, and I fell in love with the shingles. The first time I came here, I couldn't quite see the sense of having so many pebbles crunching under your feet. Yeah. But I totally fell in love with the colouring here, and with the shingles in particular. A friend of ours used to say, daubing away. And I had great fun doing it, and I hope you have some fun looking at them. So thank you again.
Well done.